guys, we are back. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome. Thank you for choosing to come back. And if you are a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing to my channel. And I would like to ask you guys to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Woo! Never mind my crusty nails, okay? So today I come back with a story time. What happened to me? It's embarrassing. I'm not even sure if I should tell it, but I should just tell it so that I can you guys can tell your family members to be aware. Okay, so guys, I got scammed. I almost got scammed. Okay, so what happened? So right now I'm working at this shop, right? And most of the time I'm alone in the shop. So it was just one Thursday, Monday, Tuesday. No, it was Tuesday. I was just sitting in the shop, just sitting by myself watching my phone. My phone was even charging. I was chatting. This guy comes in. He's like, hey, I'm looking for this girl that used to work here. Then I'm like, oh, I don't know anyone that used to work here. But he's like, oh, I was looking for this girl because this girl once told me that she wanted a job. Excuse me. This girl once told me that she wanted a job, and I just got a new job at a bank. So I wanted to give this girl my job at the law firm. This guy told me that his previous work was at a law firm. He was a personal assistant to this lawyer. So he wants this girl to replace him. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know that girl, but I want that job. I think I can do that job. So tell me what the job is about, okay? So he's like, no, the reason. Firstly, here's what I thought. I'm thinking, okay, this guy saying that he's a personal assistant to the lawyers, meaning lawyers are connected. Maybe some of his clients owns travel agencies. Maybe they can make me a letter so that I can apply. Everything I do in my mind is for me to get my diploma, okay? So don't judge me. I just want to get my diploma. I also want to graduate, okay? Fine. So that we got that. Now that we got that out of the way, let me continue with the story. So I asked him, what is the job about? He's like, oh, it's simple thing, it's filing. And filing, it's not that difficult. All you have to do is open a file, give it to the lawyer will do the rest. As long as you know computer, the lawyer do the rest. I'm like, interesting. Don't mind my crusty nails, okay? I'm like, interesting. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. So what should I do? Then he's like, okay, because you're replacing me and there will be no interviews, all you have to do is get your CV and your qualification and then come with me so that we can go to the office. I can show you the work and we can make you a name tag. I'm like, okay, interesting. So I go through my bag. I found this other USB that I have that has my CV. I print out my CV. Then I realized that I don't have my qualifications. I'm like, oh, I don't have my qualification. Can we just go with my CV so that he can see my CV? Then the following day I'll come with the qualifications, right? He's like, no, can you just call someone from home so that they can send you the qualifications. I'm like, okay. I call my mom. I'm like, mom, there's this guy that wants to give me a job at a law firm. Can you please send me my qualification? Where? My mother's like, okay. Then my mother goes through my things. She sent me my qualifications. So I started printing them, right? So while I'm waiting for my mother to send me those things, I'm calling my current boss. I'm like,
hello, there's this guy that is offering me a job. So can I please lock up the shop and go with him because he wanted to show me everything? Then my boss is like, no, you cannot leave just now. Wait, let me call somebody to stay with the shop while you go to that guy. I'm like, I don't even have that time, nigga. I don't have the time. If this guy leaves now, he's going to give another person this job.
okay, fine. So while so I talked to my boss. My boss is like, no, wait for somebody. So I'll call my mom. My mom was like, no, if that person doesn't come before that time that you guys are supposed to leave, you guys should leave. You cannot pass an opportunity like this, okay? I'm like, fine, I will leave. So this guy, he's sitting, I even offered him a chair to sit down. He's sitting down, he's watching his statuses, the statuses, and like it was about like those church thingy, like guys preaching, like preachers preaching those statuses. So he gets a call. I don't know if he pretended that he got a call, or maybe he really got that call, but he get a call.
It's like, hello, yeah, I found someone who can come and work with you. Okay, let me ask his name. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, my name is Precious. I'm like, I'm Precious. Then I'm like, Precious. Then he asked me, say name now. I'm like, Golo. He's like, Precious Golo. Oh, okay. So you're still at the High Court. You're still at High Court. Okay. What time do you think you can finish? Oh, 1:00. Oh, okay. Okay. So when I'm done, I should go and make her name tag. Okay, I will do that. Okay, bye.
And he talks to me. He's like, okay, the lawyer says that he's at High Court. So when after I show you the work, we should go and make you a name tag. I'm like, okay, fine. He's busy telling me that he even went to the bank that he's going to work at to fetch his uniform and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Then he's like, oh, it's hot in here. Let me go wait for you outside while you're waiting for your mom to send you your qualification. While he's waiting outside, he talks to these other ladies, those people that helps people to park their cars, but I don't know if they're hired by the municipality to like charge people who parks their cars. I don't know, but those people, if you guys can understand what I'm saying, there are those people that were like reflecting jacket. Is it a reflecting jacket? I don't know, but they charge people when they park their cars, right? He talks to that lady there. He's like,
so he's like, oh, hello, hi, how are you doing this side? He's like, oh, I'm leaving my job, I got another job at a bank, so I see this girl, I just thought I should give this poor girl this job because she's so talented and blah blah blah. And then the girl is like, oh, but I thought, I've told you that I wanted a job too. It's like, oh, but then this job moved to guy. And then the lady is like, oh yeah, Lena, I have got qualification. I have a matric. I did computer. I did security. What?
I wasn't listening to them, but like some of the things they were saying, I could hear them, right? So he's saying that because my mind or my priority was to tell my mother to send those things first because the person is waiting for me, okay? So he's busy talking to that lady.
Yeah, man, I forgot, but I think other opportunities will come and I'll call you. This one, I already talked to this girl. I already talked to Precious, and she's very interested, and she's already compiling her CV. So I'm sorry, blah blah blah. They were talking. Then he asked the girl, oh, so what position are you? The girl is like, I'm the supervisor of these people that works here, blah blah blah.
Then my mother sends my CV, my things. I print them out, then I give it to him. He's going through them. What the petla. He's like, Okay. Um then my mother asked me, Hore, where is this, what's the name of this law firm? So I asked him, oh, by the way, what did you say was the name of the law firm? He's like, Mukwena Attorneys, right? I'm like, oh. Then I texted. He saw. I think he saw me texting it, saying it's Mukwena Attorneys. Then he's
like, oh, why did you ask me again? He gets angry, right? Why did you ask me again? I told you before that it was Mukwena Attorney. I'm like, I'm just confirming that I still remember the name of the name of the law firm so that I can tell my mother, because they're asking me what's the name of the law firm. He's like, oh, why are they asking you, blah blah blah. I'm like, they're asking me for security so that they know, like, who's the person I'm working with and where am I going. He's like, no, why are you making me to be like I'm a crook? Why untira ekare ke tsotsi asena tsotsi nna kore o tla o thusha motho a go dire tsotsi kore ke eng batho mara kore wena ke tla mo ka mo yo moshapo ke re ke a go thusha wena o ntse gore ke tsotsi ke tla tša ngwanyana o labeng kwa outside because le yena ne ke mtshepišitše mmereko. I'm like, say, I'm just making sure. Calm down. He's angry at that point. I'm confused. I'm like, no. My mother asked me, and if my mother asked me what type of job is this, and where is that law firm, I'm supposed to assure her that I'm safe. Then he's like, no, you know, and people are not like, all of us are not like that. I'm like, okay, calm down. So are we leaving? He's like, yeah, you've got your things, let's go. Then I'm like, okay, are you holding the CV or should I hold it? He's like, it's yours, you should hold
it. Okay. I have two phones. I have this iPhone and I have a Samsung, the one that I was using before, right? I take my phones. Thank God that day, like, I didn't have like my modem didn't have data, so I left it in my bag. I just took my phone, my two phones, and the CV, right? Then I'm like to him, I give him the CV. I'm like, can you hold this so that I can close the door? He takes the CV, he goes outside. For some reason, I don't know why, I didn't give him my phones. I took my phones and I put them in my pocket. I closed the door. I punched the password, the password, right? I lock, we leave. Take my CV, then we leave. As we're walking, he's like, oh, can we go to the other side of the road, because this side there are a lot of people. I'm like, okay, maybe it's because like it's corona and like we're passing a lot of people, maybe that's the reason. And that other side there's shade, so because it was sunny, it was hot that day, so I'm like, okay, maybe that's the reason why he said we should go the other side. Okay, we go on the other side. Then by the robots there's a shop that sells furnitures and phones, right? He's like, oh, he gets on the phone. He's like, oh, blah blah blah, I'll check that phone, something like that, I don't remember. So he's like, can we get in the shop? I want to check a phone. I want a Huawei Y7. I'm like, okay. Then he's like, yeah, and when we are done at the office, I'm going to fetch my GTI, my GTI at VW. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. So we go into the shop. He asked the guy gives him the
thingy that has pages, that has like phone, the manual. Is it the manual? I don't know. But that newspaper that has like that thing is inside. I don't know what it's called, but that thing.
He gives him that, right? So after he gives him that, he checks it, and then he asks the guy, oh, I'm looking for a Huawei Y7. The guy is like, no, we don't have it in this shop. He's like, okay, fine. I'm like, why do you want another phone? Because you have a phone. He's like, no, I'm changing, just like you got two phones, so I'm also changing because I want to upgrade. I'm like, okay, new year, new job, new girl, new everything. Girl, now you just want new everything. He laughs, and then we leave. So this guy, he's pretending like he's in a hurry because he wants to go to VW to fetch his car, right? So we're working. As we're working, he greets everybody. Like when we pass who's those people who sell life insurance, he greets them. I've never seen anybody greeting those people. Everybody is trying to avoid those people, okay? But he's like, hi, how are you? Blah blah blah. In every shop, he greeted everybody. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's well known. I don't know. And then we pass those people that sell life insurance. Then they try to talk to him. Then they're like,
hey, my brother, can we talk to you? Then he's like, no, I'm that one. He takes out his Capitec bank card, the black card. He's like, yeah, I'm that one. Then that girl helped me. Then I'm like, okay, but I don't understand. Why is he taking the Capitec card instead of that insurance card? So I miss it, okay? So those people, they're like, oh, where you? Let me see. It's like, no.
then he puts the the card back into his wallet. Then he's like, "Ish, batla ba bang tshwara poo." I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, oh, Luana, they tried to sign you up. He's like, oh, they already signed me up. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. We're working. Then we pass two policemen. They facing us, like they coming towards us, right? Then he's like, bagolo, thobela, bagolo, namile bana ba mo dumedisa. They greet him back. They're like, how are you? Blah blah blah. I'm not paying attention to those things because I'm like, okay, he works with a lawyer. Maybe they know him because he works with a lawyer. Then I ask him, oh, do you know them? Then he's like, yeah, ora bafana vale. I'm like, ase bafana batho vale ke banna ba bagolo. So uska ba bitsa bafana. He's like, my father was a station commander at the police station, at the Polokwane police station. Right, I'm like, oh, interesting. So he's like, yeah, they know me. My father was a station commander. Blah blah blah. We pass Kimpai. As we're about to pass Kimpai, he offers to buy me something. He's like, do you want something to drink or to eat? Right? Because when I was working with him, in my mind, I'm praying like, Lord,
can you please make this job be the job that I want? Can you please not let this guy steal me? If he's like those type of guy that kidnaps girls, can he please not be the one? Like
I'm praying inside, right? So as we pass Kimpai and he offers to buy me something to drink, I'm like, okay, maybe what if he buys me, because I'm paranoid. Like I overthink everything, okay? So I'm like, what if he buys me something, slips in a drug that will maybe make me sleepy or make me do something, I don't know. What if he does that? So I'm like, no, I'm fine. That time I was hungry. It was like 12 o'clock. I was hungry, I was thirsty, and it was hot, and we were walking, okay? So I'm like, nah, I'm fine. He's like, oh, you fine? Like, I wanna buy you something. I'm like, no, I'm okay. Buy for yourself. I'm okay. Then he's like, oh, so the guy's name, he said he was Dennis Malulek. So he's like, oh, I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not that. I just don't want anything. Then he's like, oh, okay, fine. He buys himself water. Then we walk. We pass Jake Borders. Those who know Polokwane. We pass Jake Borders park. Then we go to the other side. We pass Magistrate Court. At Magistrate Court, there was a security guard that was sitting at the door. He's like, Tabela. The security guard also greeted him. And I'm like, okay, that's normal because he works with a lawyer. The security guard obviously must know him because maybe they come here sometimes. No, we walk, guys. We go into high court. We walking. We pass police station. There are bunch of police guys standing by the door outside. He greet them, but they don't greet him back. They looked confused, like who's this guy greeting us, like. But he pretended that they greeted him back, like that moment that, like, he said hi, tolela tolela, nobody greeted him back. He's like, like they greeted him back. So also, I didn't mind that. My mind was on the job. Plus he said, oh, imagine if they gave you like 5.2, you can do a lot with that money. I'm like, 5.2, that's a lot of money from comparing to what they giving me at the other job. I was like, that's a lot of money, that's an improvement. Okay, so fine. We pass police station where they certify. Then he greets another person that does copies there. The guy greets him back, right? Then I ask him question. Oh, so this guy.
So you said that if you had 5.2 you would buy the car. So did you buy yourself this car, or what's happening? It's like, no, my parents bought me this car. I'm like, fancy, cheers boy. So your parents bought you the car? He's like, yeah, but daddy, they're just trying to help me out, so they bought me this car. Now it's at VW. They're servicing it. I'm like, so that's nice. So I'm asking him like, oh, why did they buy you the car? Are you the only child? He's like, no, I'm not the only child. I'm the only boy. Like, I have two big sisters. I'm the middle child. Then there are two younger sisters. I'm like, oh, okay. So they're just spoiling you because you're the only boy. He's like, yeah. So I asked him questions. He asked me like, where did I go to high school? I asked him, where did he go to high school? He's like, he went to Capricorn High School. He said he lives at Bendo. Yeah, he said he lives at Bendo. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, so why are they not going to like advertise the job and do interviews? He's like, no, because you're a replacement. I would go there and tell the lawyer that I know you, so you're replacing me. Because you're replacing me, there would be no interview. I'm like, okay, is that how you got the job? He's like, yeah, a girl that lives next door to me was working at that job since 2012. Then after she got another job, she gave me that job in 2015. I think that's what he said. In 2015. So I replaced him because I replaced her because I was a replacement. There were no interviews, so there will not be a need for you to like go through the interview thing. So we'll just go to the office, show you the work, then we'll go and make you an intake.
Be like, okay, fine. So we working. We approach magistrate court. We go up Gibega Street. Is it Beggar? I don't know. Mara, I must start the High Court. So start the High Court. There are law firms there, right? So there's this other law firm at the gate. It's written in Afrikaans. Blah 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 blah. It's written in Afrikaans, but it's a law firm. I think like they're hiring that place or whatever. We got to the offices, right? We are outside. So I got a call from my mom. I'm like, hello mom. Yeah, Rufitlile. No, it's by Department of Tourism. I know the place. Okay. Okay. But then before we got to that place, I texted my mother. I'm like, mom, I don't trust this guy. This guy, it's fishy because he greeted everybody. So I'm like, ma, I don't trust this guy. But anyway, I let that feeling go.
I'm telling my mom, no, I know this place. It's by Department of Tourism. I know this place. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, princess, you should be safe. Go I'm like, no, we didn't take any car. We didn't drive to here. We walked. He's like, oh, okay. Mara, it was safe, he said. I'm like, okay.
Then I dropped the phone, right? Then I'm looking at him like, he's standing like in the road, and then I'm standing on the pavement. Then he points. He's like, this is where your office are. Then I'm like, okay, so are we going in or what? He's like, no, we're not going in. Mr. Malulek is still at high court. He's the one who has the key. Oh, I keep forgetting these little things. Before we got there, like at the high court, there were cars parked. After high court, they were parked. Then he asked me, look at those cars. Which car do you think your boss owns? Then I'm like, I think it's that Hilux truck. Then he's like, yeah, is that one, but you know your boss has many cars. He already called him my boss. He's like, your boss has so many cars, so I'm like, okay. As he points at me at the gate, he's like, this is where your offices will be. Then I'm like, are we not going in? Because you said we are going in so that you can show me, like, you can show me the job that I'm going to do. I was like, nah, your boss has keys. So now we have to go to like 2 street after the street that we're at, to make you a name tag. In my head, I'm like,
Wait, but how is he making you a name tag while you don't know the type of job you're going to do? What if you're not good at that job? How does he know that you're going to be good at that job? Like, are we not supposed to check if I can do the job? And am I not supposed to meet the person I'm going to work with so that he can approve of me? Is that not how it's supposed to be? I mean, if it's not an interview and it's a replacement, surely he has to approve of me. The lawyer, I mean, he has to approve of me. So I'm like, what? Wait, why?
why are we supposed to make the name tag first? Then he started getting angry again. Like every time I would mention like something that will make me feel like I'm not safe, something that will suggest that I don't feel safe, something that will suggest that I think he's trying to steal me or he's going to kidnap me, he would get angry. Then he started saying, wa thoma jalo, hey inyana a ke o swantse re ere o dirang, we have to go and make you the name tag first because that person he's at high court and he said he's going to finish at 1 o'clock. I'm like, it's 12:49 right now, so why don't we just wait for him so that I can meet him? Then he's like, no, you don't know that person. When that person says 1 o'clock, maybe he's going to finish at 1:30. You don't know that person. When I'm like, why don't you have the key? I start asking question now. I'm like, why don't you have the key? He's like, no, he took his keys after I resigned, because why should he give me the key after I resigned? He took the key, but you are the one who's going around ufisha ke majaji looking unyakela replacement. Then he's like, how wa jalo wa bona wa thoma go njaja jalo o thoma go ntira tsotsi. He's getting angry. Okay, so we walk him back to high court. We stand by the other side of the road of high court, right? We stand there. I started, like, the way he was getting angry, my paranoia were like,
Precious, what if this person can call his person right now and they come and snatch you here and they kidnap you?
So what I did was stand by the corner, like at the corner there's a, what's this thing, stop nonsense again. I don't know. Let's stop nonsense. So I stand by the corner of that stop nonsense. There's a pole. So in my mind, I'm like, if they try to grab me, I'ma grab this pole. So there's no way that they can kidnap me. So I stand by the corner, and then he stand by the side of the road, by the other side. Like we shouting at he's shouting at me. Then it's like we are boyfriend and girlfriend and we're disagreeing on something. So we're standing there, and then he's saying all those things, that I don't trust him, that all men are not the same. I'm like, dude, you know the situation in South Africa right now. Oh, so very situation in South Africa. I'm not a foreigner, I'm a South African. I'm like, even South African men do that. They still girls. It's like, oh, so why if in because I refused to go to the other side. I refused to go to the other street because I don't know that other street. I only know that street that we are at, the High Court Street. But those other street after High Court, I don't know them. I'm like, I've never even seen anybody saying they're the other street of the High Court. I've never even seen anybody at that street. So I'm like, why should we go that side to make a name tag while business is this side of town? It just didn't make sense, okay? So I'm like, okay, call him. Call the lawyer and ask him if he's done. Sorry. Excuse me. He calls the lawyer. He's like, he's not answering his phone. You see, he's still busy. Then he started getting angry again. He's like, let me give you will wait for him. You na no kinyokoya VW, like all the way to that place. He's been talking about his car at VW. So he's like, you will wait for him. Na nka so tlhake me mo ke sontse ke VW ko tša koloi yaka ke late uniform ya. Which uniform? Because you already said you have your uniform. He's like, I'm texting my mother that time, and I don't even have airtime. I'm texting her on WhatsApp like, Mom, I do not feel safe. Then my mother calls me. I'm like, oh, ma, I'm cool. I'm like, ma, airtime. Then he's like, hey, hey, precious. Go, leave. But in my mind, I'm like, if Kengala and leave, what if he follows me? And because at that shop, most of the time I'm alone. What if he follows me and like do something? I don't know. So in my mind, I was thinking maybe like he has a car somewhere. There are people waiting somewhere. They're gonna grab me and kidnap me. This mind of mine, this paranoia mind. Okay, but it helped me though. Okay. So he's like, you would wait for you will wait for him. Me, I'm leaving. I'm Zai. I'm going to take the person that I trust. So he's like, okay, you can wait for him. Now I'm going to take somebody who trusts me. I'm going to take that girl because I know him and he knows me. And why would I steal you? You saw everybody knows me and blah 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, fine. Go take that girl. I would wait here. I would wait for Mr. Malulek, for Mr. Mukwena to finish, and then I will talk to him, and we'll see I'll see what I do. Then he's like, okay, fine, you can wait. If that car, the car that he asked for, which car do I think it's my boss's car? If that car leaves, just know that he also left. I'm like, okay, I would wait for him. I will wait for him here. It's fine. So he's like, okay, let me go check him in the court. Then he goes to High Court, right? Then I call my mother. I'm like,
no man, this person, I call my mother. I'm like, no man, this person, he's getting paranoid every time I mention the fact that he might steal me. My mom is like, leave my child. I'm like, no, I'm going to wait for him to come back from the High Court, and I will see who is this person, who is this lawyer that he's talking about. He goes
in the High Court. He comes back. He talks on his phone before he could approach me. He approaches me. Then he's like, you see, I told you. Or sali busy, but sali busy ka di blah 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 blah. Like the term the lawyer, right? He's busy with blah 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 blah. So na nka se kgone memela nna ke lata koloi ya ka ko VW. I'm like, okay, fine, you can leave, I'll wait. He's leaving. He's working. He's leaving. I'm standing there. Then I call my mother. I'm like, he left. So, but I just wanna know, like, does this lawyer really exist? So I go into High Court. I asked the security guard there, did you see a guy coming in here wearing a blue suit pen and pants, a blue suit pants and white shirt? He has an S curl. Then they're like, yeah, he came here. I'm like, what did he want? They said he was looking for somebody, blah blah blah, but he's not here. He was looking for Dumi, what's the name of the thing? He was looking for Dumi Mukwena. He said he's a lawyer, he's here, but there are no lawyers in here. I'm like, what do you mean there are no lawyers? What do you mean there are no lawyers in this High Court? He's like, no, there are no lawyers in here. I'm like, okay, what did he say? Like, can you please tell me, what did he say? He came in here. They told me that he came in here, said that he's looking for Dumi Mukwena. We told him he's not here. He went outside. He spoke on his phone. He's like, okay, DJ. Then he left. I'm like, what? Can you guys believe like what just happened? Like everything just come back running into my head. Like I've got scammed. Like I almost lost my phone or my life or something else. I told them what happened. I told them every story. Then the other security lady asked me, what does this person look like? I'm like, he has an S curl. He's tall, he's slim. Then they're like, baby girl, you because there are a lot of girls that came in here and said the same thing, that this guy took their phone. Maybe he was going to go with you to the other street, because the other street, they told me that the other street that he suggested that you guys should go and make the name tag, there's nothing there. They're like bushes and houses there. So had I went there, I would have lost my phone, my 2 phones, and whatever I had. I don't know. Maybe he was planning to steal me or what. So they told me that, baby girl, just thank God that you were not stolen. Okay? I was like, what in the world of Jesus? Are you supposed to say that on YouTube? I mean, what in the name is happening? Okay? So I'm like, okay, thank you guys. So I walk. I'm like, no man, this guy greeted so many people and they greeted him back. I should go and ask them if they know him. So I walk. That guy that he greeted by the where they certify at the police station, the guy that makes copies, I go to him. I'm like, Tobela Papa, I wanted to ask you, do you remember I passed here with a guy wearing suit pants, white t-shirt, white shirt? He's like, yeah, I remember you. Like, I'm like, that guy greeted you. Do you remember? He's like, eh. Then I'm like, do you know him? He's like, no, I don't know him. I just greeted him back because like I do business. So everybody that greets me, I must greet them back so that they can come to my thingy. So I'm like, can you believe the nerve of that man? He's like, eh, ufitile mo apakisha. And he looked pissed. I'm like, what? That man almost like lied to me that he was going to give me a job. Embarrassing, guys. I walked, and as I was walking, but I felt kind of scared that what if he like follows me? What if he steals my phone? I even put my iPhone. Oh, excuse me. At High Court, when they told me that he steals girls' phone, I took my phone and I put it in my boobs. Then I hold I hold my other phone in my hand, right? So I put the other phone in my boobs, and I was working, and I felt scared. I felt like everybody knew, and I felt like maybe he went to like toilet and changed, and he's following me. What if he comes back to my workplace and does something? And I'm like, God, like, guys, God does amazing things sometimes. Like, by the time that time when I was closing the door, I could have given him my phones and that CV, but I only gave him the CV and not my phones. And what if, like, I went to the other street? What would have happened? Like, God does amazing things when you least expect it. Le badimo, guys. Modimo le badimo ba go protecta o sa nagane. Because I, like, something could have happened to me. I don't know. Maybe he could have just stolen my phones only. Maybe he could have raped me. I don't know. But that day, bam protectile, like, I think of it, like, when I was sitting down and I thought of it, I'm like, what? So I just walked with the guy. What if he had a car and I went in his car? What would have happened? Simply because he promised a job? Like, South Africa, and this unemployment thingy would get a lot of girls kidnapped and raped and whatever. But I think, like, the main reason is because of unemployment. So yeah, that's how I almost got scammed and almost got my phone stolen. No, not almost got scammed. That's how I got scammed and almost got my phone stolen, or almost got kidnapped. Yeah, like, I think of, like, a lot of things that could have happened that day, but they didn't happen. Only by the grace of God. So yeah, that's what happened. So I went back to work. I told my boss what happened. He sent somebody to come sit with me that day. When I was going home, like, when people were talking in the transport, like in the taxi, I felt like I should say something, but it was also embarrassing. Oh, and another girl came to my workplace and I told her the story. He's like, you're not alone. That happened to my aunt, but they stole her phone. They stole, like, somebody went into a chemist, said that he's looking for somebody to give him a job. Her aunt said she knows somebody. Then they sent the girl to Savannah Mall. At Savannah Mall, that person told the girl to give him her phone so that he can go and make print out. Then that guy left with the girl's phone. Yeah, so they stole the other the girl's phone. So yeah, crazy shit happened. I feel like I'm dumb to buy that story, but at least I was smart enough to not go through with his thing of going to make a name tag at the other street. Right. Yeah, so that's the whole story. But that was not the first time I got scammed. There was the other time that I was with a friend and we got scammed our phones, and I told my parents that they stole our phone. We even went to police station and we fabricated a story that there were guys that stole our phone. But if you want to know about that story time, let me know. What happened to my voice? Let me know so that I can tell you that story. But I have to get consent from the other girl that I was with if she agrees that I tell this story. But I also got scammed the other time. But that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for making it through to the end. I just hope that you tell your friends and your families, your siblings, that people will scam you, promising you a job that is not even there. Like, I know maybe some of you will be like, but you know, there are a lot of these things on social media where people got scammed like that. Why did, girl, you will not see these signs until the end. I don't know what they do to you, but you will not see these things until the end. So don't judge me.
Okay? Please don't judge me. And I won't judge you.
So don't judge me, okay? But thank you for making it towards the end of the video. I hope that you guys could share this video so that you can let other people know that this scamming thing is real, and people will promise you a job and they would make sure that you believe them, that they know what they're talking about. Oh, before I end this video, oh my god, how can I almost forget? I googled that law firm, like Mukwena attorney. Dumi Mukwena, he is former, they said on Google, they said he's former lawyer of Julius Malema, but I think he's also his friend. So this guy reads news and newspapers, so he knows his things. I don't know why I didn't Google that before we went there. I think because he was so in a hurry. But yeah, Dumi Mukwena is former lawyer of Julius Malema. I felt so stupid after that. But anyway, thank you for making it towards the end of the video. I hope you give this video a thumbs up. You like, thumbs up, it's liking. You comment, you share it so that you tell your other family members or friends or sibling that this gaming thing is real, and you turn post notifications so that you get alerted when I post videos. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Also, I did my own hair. So bye. One last thing. I did this eye look on my IG. So when I post this, I think I'm also going to post this makeup look on my Instagram. So you guys should follow me on Instagram also. I'll put my Instagram handle on my description box. So you guys should check that out and go on my Instagram and support your girl. Okay. Bye guys.